Hi guys, this is Srijani with another spine-shivering horror story, The Premonition. So, starting The Premonition, and as always, keep listening. It was quiet, almost unnaturally quiet. The tall trees loomed darkly overhead, not even a whiff of air disturbing the stillness. A fog had suddenly descended, reducing visibility to near zero. The environs had an evanescent quality that seemed a natural and integral part of the strangeness of the place. A little later, the gaps in the atmosphere filled up as the thick clouds of fog gently swirled around, becoming softer, cotton-like. The catalyst for this transformation was the whispering wind. It had silently come and taken everything in its fold in just a few seconds. Nothing could be seen except for the soft clouds which had joined together to make a smooth, unwrinkled space for themselves. This is called mist. Have you ever seen anything like this? The woman asked courteously. Ravina was in no mood to make conversation until the middle-aged woman had spoken. She hadn't even noticed her arrival. She was too busy thinking of her situation. No, I have come here for the first time. It is somewhat new, she said. She couldn't very well have ignored the woman. They say during the British Raj, people who were sick and wounded were brought here to recuperate, the woman said. Yeah, I read that somewhere. There was a silence. How could anyone get cured here? Ravina thought. It was so deadly quiet, eerie, and suffocating. Very well, it was nice meeting you. You will be good company. Goodbye, the elder woman said. Same here. Perhaps we'll meet again soon, Ravina said politely. The woman looked directly at her. It will be somewhat before we met, but you may come across my daughter soon, she said, slowly, and then walked off, disappearing into the mist. Ravina stared at the whirling mist into which the woman had disappeared, not knowing whether to be relieved by her departure or surprised by her behavior. Ah, there she is. Come here, Ravina. Let me introduce you to your teacher, her father said, beckoning her. Well, I won't be teaching you, but we will meet on and off. I am in charge of the hostel, said the nun, and Ravina reached them. Ravina almost extended her hand to shake, but as an afterthought restrained her. So perhaps she wasn't supposed to shake hands with teachers here, unlike Australia. So instead, she said a muted hello. This seemed not to have been the right thing either, she thought, as she noticed the nuns assessing her with cold eyes. Her father did not notice her comfort, but then he hardly noticed anything concerning her. A few moments later, he left her with the stern-looking nun. Would you like to ask me anything about the college? No, except if you could please tell me the way to my hostel room. I don't think I will be able to find it on my own with all this mist around, she said, staring helplessly but nothing in particular. Sister Margaret had been apprised of the girl's background by her father. He had told her that his daughter was a shy, introverted girl who seldom made friends easily. She was likely to dislike the college and even fear it for at least a few months. This was what worried him. He told the nun. Ravina was intelligent, but her insecurities led to what he thought were baseless fears. This was why he decided to bring her to Shimla. "I'll take you there," Sister Margaret said briskly. "This foggy weather will remain like this for a long time. It is always like this during the rainy season. You will get used to it." It took them a few minutes to reach the hostel room from the administrative building. The nun left her at the hotel entrance, and it took some time for Ravina to find room number 23. She knocked the door. "Yeah, come in, it's open," a voice answered. Feeling self-conscious, Ravina opened the door. It was a medium-sized room. There were 3 beds and a study table near each bed. A large window faced the door. "You seem to be looking at the room as if it is yours," the room's occupant said. The girl was sitting cross-legged on one of the beds. Ravina entered, closed the door, moved towards the bed, and sat down. "I think it is your room," the girl said, sheepishly. "Yes." "Hi, I am Sandy, short for Sandhya. I am from Jalandhar, and you must be Ravina. Our other roommate was here a few minutes ago. She has gone to bring her luggage." Sandhya was a fair girl with prominent freckles on her face. She had come 2 days ago and had settled comfortably with all her things. Clothing, toiletries, books stacked in one of the cupboards. She had even pasted poster of her favorite hero, Amir Khan, on the wall adjoining her bed. A pink, fluffy, cotton stuffed dog which had long drooping ears sat beside her on the pillow. 5 pairs of shoes had been neatly lined up under her bed. Stroking her stuffed dog, Sandy studied her roommate with curiosity. Ravina was a medium height, with a thin frame and whitish complexion, dressed in a yellow t-shirt and jeans. She was not beautiful, but she had an intelligent face. "She seems shy," Sandy thought. Apart from that one yes, she had said nothing. Her hands were tightly clasped, her eyes glued to the half-open window. "Where is your luggage? Didn't your parents come to drop you?" Sandy asked, trying to start a conversation. I just have a small bag. The rest of my luggage will come in few days. My father will send it from Delhi." An awkward silence followed. How come you knew my name?" Ravina asked at last. It's written on the notice board. There are only 4 girls who have been admitted in the final year. Us, our other roommate, and the 4th who is sharing a room with a sister who is in 2nd year." Sandy paused, then asked, "Are you not happy about coming here?" Ravina kept quiet. "So you are not happy coming here? Our other roomie too is not excited. As for myself, I am okay. I like the place and the weather. But if I'm going to be stuck with you, two unhappy creatures. Sandy laughed and then noticed the expression on her roommate's face and anxiously asked, "What's wrong?" "You like the weather? The college building is fine, but the place, the mist, the thick black jungle, the looming trees, I, I feel trapped. I hate it." Before Sandy could reply to Ravina's outburst, their door opened. A tall, thin girl, staggering with the many bags she was carrying, a suitcase in each hand, 3 bags dangling from her shoulders and one hanging round her neck, stood at the door. "It's your room. Don't just stand here with all that stuff. Put it in the corner," Sandy said, gesturing towards the right side of the room. The girl walked in, raised her right foot to shut the door, and then stumbled forward, letting the luggage drop in the middle of the room with a thump. She grinned good naturally at Sandy. "Ravina, Minnie, our third roomie," said Sandy, cheerfully introducing one to the other. "I think we have met before," Ravina said hesitantly. She felt as if she had seen the girl somewhere before, but she couldn't quite recall where or when. I don't think so. I don't remember meeting you before," Minnie replied tentatively. "Where are you from?" "Delhi. But I did most of my schooling in Sydney. I studied in India for 3 years, then left again, and have just come back now to complete my graduation," Ravina explained. How long were you away from India the second time?" Sandy asked. "You mean Sydney?" "Oh, 2 years. There was a gap in your studies?" "Yes, I was not well," Ravina said quietly. She looked at Minnie, trying to recollect where she had seen her. Perhaps it had been at the airport. Over the next few weeks, Ravina's initial fears gradually decreased. She still felt uneasy when she was left alone, but that was not often. She had struck up a strong friendship with her roommates, and life became almost normal for her. But she was still not comfortable with the mist. It was a month after her arrival that she saw the place where she knew she would die. She felt like a fool. For so long, she had seen this place in her dreams, and here she was, practically knocking on the door of her own death. It was an outing day when the girls were allowed to leave the college campus till 8 p.m. The 3 of them, Ravina, Sandy, and Minnie, had gone to watch a film at the Ritz. It was a thriller. She did not enjoy it much, but her friends loved it. They had a late lunch at Fascination Restaurant and decided to walk back to the hostel via Centrally route. It would be about 5 kilometers from the mall. By the time friends had an tea at Papi's Dhaba, the sun had set and it was getting dark. Both Minnie and Sandy were brisk walkers. Ravina had to make an effort to keep the pace with them. After some time, she lagged behind. When they were about half the way to college, she saw the woman that she had met on her first day at college coming from the opposite direction. Ravina stopped at the woman, approached her. Her friends went on ahead. They did not seem to have noticed the woman, although she walked right past them. "It's nice to see you happy. Do you like my daughter?" the woman asked as she reached Ravina. Ravina was confused. The smile on the woman's face did not reach her eyes. She was so well dressed, not a single strand of hair was out of the place. "Who is your daughter?" she was about to ask, but the woman was already talking again. "Soon you will be with me, with us. We come from far off places to be together here. I'm waiting," she said, and walked on. Shocked, Ravina looked back at the woman. Out of the darkness in front of her, she heard Sandy's call to hurry up or they would get late. "I'm coming," Ravina called out and turned back again to look at the woman. But there was no one at the straight stretch of road in front of her. Trembling, Ravina forced herself to take a few steps and then ran as fast she could to her friends. Overtaking them, she continued to run, with her friends following her, shouting out her name. They reached their room, gasping for breath. "Gosh, why are you running like that, Ravina? We were not that late," Sandy said, leaning against of the room. While Minnie was opening the door of the room, it was Minnie who first noticed her roommate's chalk-white face. Ravina was shaking and gasping for air. Horrified, she gestured to Sandy to look at Ravina. Sandy too lost her color as she saw the state the friend was in. "Open the door! She is going to fall down!" she screamed at Minnie. For the next half hour, both the worried girls took care of Ravina. They made her drink some water, put a cloak soaked with cool water on her face, and massaged her feet. "You didn't see her, did you?" Ravina asked feebly. Don't talk. Just rest. You ran too fast," Sandy said, stroking her hair, relieved that her friend seemed to be returning to normal. "I don't want to rest. Please listen to me, Minnie. I saw your mother," Ravina said, turning to the girl, who stepped away from the bed abruptly and turned pale. What are you saying? I don't have a mother. She died many years ago." I know. I met her the first day I came here. She told me that I would meet you." "Look, you don't know what are you saying. Didn't you hear what Minnie said? She doesn't have a mother. Her mother passed away." "Be quiet, Sandy. I may not get another chance to speak to you. Remember, I had told you that I was not well." "That's true. I was unwell, but not physically. I for many years, I have had a premonition about my death. Not just a premonition. I saw where I would die. I used to have nightmares. Sometimes I'd be so scared I'd get fits, break everything in room, hurt myself. When I came here first, the place seemed similar to the one I'd seen in my nightmares. And now I realize it is not just similar, but exactly the same. The trees, the ivy, the mist, everything." Genuinely frightened, Sandy and Ravina held each other's hand. "I was brought here for a reason only. My father thought it would help me to overcome my fear, to be in a place that was like the one I saw in my mind." Please, Ravina, you don't understand what you are talking about. I think we should call sister. She will bring a doctor, interrupted a visibly shaken Sandy. I'm telling the truth, Sandy. Ravina shook her head agitatedly. When I first saw you, Minnie, didn't I say that I had seen you before? It was not you, but your mother. You resemble her. There was a pause. Neither of her roommates said anything. Both of them were trembling. It's okay. You both go for dinner. I'll be fine. I'm tired. I just want to sleep now, Ravina said feebly, closing her eyes. There was nothing that could be done now. Sandy and Minnie hastily left the room. As the door closed behind them, Ravina opened her eyes and cried, "Oh, oh, Daddy! If only you could have understood. In a way, you brought me to the doorstep of my death." The door opened. "Not feeling well, young lady? Your roommates told me that you think you saw a ghost," Sister Margaret asked. Ravina stared back at the nun stonily. She wanted to scream with rage and hit her, choking back her emotions. She closed her eyes again. "I know about your nightmares and fits. Your father told me everything. See, this is all psychological. Everything is in your head. It is for you to decide whether you want to live with these fears or not." Ravina slowly opened her eyes. Startled, the sister took a few steps back from the bed. There was so much hatred in them. Leaving the room, she murmured, "Rest. I will call the doctor." "Where is she?" the doctor inquired, looking back at the sister who was standing behind him. Outside the room, the bed was empty and there was no one in the room. But she was just here a few minutes back when I left to call you." A search party was quickly formed. Her body was found next day, late in the afternoon. Visibility was 0 in the morning because of the thick mist which had hindered the search operation. She was hanging from a thick branch of deodar tree with strands of ivy coiled around her neck. Her eyes were wide open, staring into the vacant space. So, this was the Premonition. We'll be coming up with more stories like that. Till then, keep listening.